Hello and welcome to the Preserve Championship hosted by Airborn Disc Golf. This coverage is provided by Prodigy Disc. This is stop 4 of 10 on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We are here in Clearwater, Minnesota. We are bringing all the action to you with Big Julie commentary. Myself, joined by my good buddy, Paul Ulibarri.
That is right. I'm happy to be here. Let's get started, huh?
And we got James Conrad after a rough finish at the third stop last week in Emporia, 7 over. Not the finish he was looking for. We got Eagle McMahon, always dangerous, of course. Looking at the stats from a previous event, Kevin Jones with the first 2 rounds out there, just really pushing the issue. Had a back 9 that kind of brought him back a little bit, but he's playing great golf, and look at this. Calvin Heimburg with that incredible last round, 10 down. Hopefully he can bring some momentum into the start of this event. We are at a brand new course, Kale LaVisca, and a host of people have joined in, and they have reserved this property up here in Clearwater just at the beginning of March, and we are already here on a Disc Golf Pro Tour. Obviously, things are jumbled up this season. Let's get right into the action. Hole 1, a big boomer, par 4. Really, the play is just to throw as far as you can up the middle of the fairway and just leave yourself with a pretty short chip shot across the water.
From Blacksburg, Virginia, James Conrad.
Pretty incredible to have this already on the Pro Tour, especially after all the stuff that's happened, and now we have another tournament to compete in.
Just a few days after the end of the Dynamic Discs Championship, or Dynamic Discs Open, and we are actually in phase 2 here in Minnesota, so spectators are welcome in limited numbers, and so are caddies. This James has this, I believe this is his Star Wraith.
I only use one caddy, so I'm good to go.
And that's a nice tee shot, good flex. And this is a long open course on an abandoned golf course, so we are going to see a lot of big drives, especially from this group. Each one of these players known for being in the elite 1% of not only all disc golfers, but the touring pros. And we don't need to say anything about Eagle's distance. His game speaks for himself. He's going to go with a cloud breaker here.
Who do you think throws it the shortest on this card?
I won't say.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't want him mad at me either.
Not Eagle.
Well, that's one eliminated.
And this was a little tight, but forget about it. Look at this thing bend. This is so big. 667 feet, and I'm pretty sure Eagle just threw it about 665 feet. That's going to be like a 90-degree turn left from that drive.
Yeah, a little chip shot into the green from there.
Kevin Jones.
Kevin Jones, the 2-time reigning back-to-back Majestic champion.
What a great title to win.
Mm-hmm. Big title up here in Minnesota. Obviously one of the best crowds of disc golf players and spectators. The community is so great up here.
And to the naked eye, that might look a little low, but anything in the fairway is really just fine on this hole.
The only real danger is there's out of bounds left.
Florida, Calvin Heimburg.
Calvin doing his best Napoleon Dynamite impersonation right from the beginning.
He should have kept the glasses on. Those are just incredible.
Where did he get those? I really, really, really want him to continue growing this hair out. I've told him many times since the first time I saw him last week, you gotta let this thing grow, baby.
I feel like we should put some sort of like pool together of money to just make sure that he does it.
All 4 throw great drives. Kevin, the shortest to the pin, but you can see there it's a pretty open pitch to the pin, and he's got less than 25 for the birdie. Calvin pulling out the Champ Rhino. And that's a pretty full shot for the Champ Rhino. That's a really overstable disc, but he's still on fire from last week, apparently. That's a great shot.
Yeah, I think every single one of them is going to throw some sort of putter into the green.
Yeah, especially this guy. This is one of the best putter throwers on tour. not just now, but maybe ever. He has really utilized the slowest discs very well into his game.
Yeah, I can't even say the word because I never have ever thrown from there before.
You've got the forehand putter game on lock. And Eagle's up there. We got 4 players looking like they are going to have a good shot at a star frame here on the opening hole. And Kevin, the furthest away he's already in. This hole is averaging 3.67. That's actually easier than the easiest hole at Emporia Country Club, and this is only the 10th easiest hole. So a lot of birdies to be had on this course. Unlike Kansas, we are not dealing with really any wind whatsoever. Conditions are definitely set up great to go low.
Yeah, which was kind of bizarre. I mean, when we were practicing, it was definitely windy, and then the forecast said completely calm. So it was actually interesting to get out on the course and really kind of know that going in, because the practice was a lot different.
Calvin has equipped himself with the glass. I can't with this guy. Well, we got a star frame right off the bat, $25 the edge. And we are on to hole 2, a little mandatory right through this tunnel to keep you honest and not have to go over hole 3 over there to the right. Just a little tunnel shot, 284 feet, just a par 3. The biggest problem other than the early gap is this tree right here on the left. You just kind of want to barely get around that one, have maybe a mid-range or a putter, stand up just a bit, but you can see it right there in front of you. It's all about hitting the gap.
Yeah, I feel like when Kale LaVisca was designing this course, he was like, okay, if anybody gets a stroke on me on 1,
I'm going to get back on 2.
I'm going to get it back on 2.
That's
if you've
right.
ever seen Kale throw, he is butter with the gap shots.
And James is a little bit early, but that gets through, and that is one of the advantages of being a solid perennial putter thrower. Make a tiny mistake a little bit early, but no, it wasn't even a mistake. He got around the tree, so it was no mistake.
Yeah, he parked it.
Yeah, never mind. Take it back. And Eagle going to go with the standstill. A little bit of flex. And
Also perfect.
Yep, just pushing the back
Ooh,
edge. Right
a little
edge
quick.
of the fairway. This hole seems like it's even shorter than 284 somehow. It just really gets back behind that basket in a hurry. And obviously Kevin Jones, another fantastic putter thrower. We are going to be gifted today with some the decision making on which disc these guys are going to go with on some of these holes that are longer is going to be really fascinating, I feel like, throughout the round. Calvin going Champ Rhino, high.
With no sunglasses.
We can put a ticker up there on the screen somewhere. That'll be a challenging putt outside the circle. So we've got 2 in the circle and 2 out. Calvin having to straddle out to the right.
You think this is outside the circle?
It's right there on the edge. We got 38 feet. Yeah. And that's nice to hear. You know, last week with no spectators in Kansas, we saw some really great shots from Paul Ulibarri and from everyone else on the card. And I'm sorry, Paul McBeth. I'm just looking at you all talking about Paul McBeth.
I got some claps out there too.
There weren't any claps to be had. There was no spectators.
Well, maybe
Were
they
you
were
clapping for your own shots?
They were following me, maybe back there on the back cards.
Anyways, and Eagles a little bit high. That could have been a cool 50 right off the bat. First 2 holes. If Kevin knocks this one down, he'll be 2 for 2. Oh, and no. Never mind.
Taking his time.
Yeah, James does not rush his game, but he's also not overly deliberate. He has a good routine, which is obviously something that you really want to stress as you start playing the sport and you want to improve your putting game.
Especially after seeing 2 guys kind of doink them.
Yeah, inside the circle for any of these guys, when it's calm outside, you're expecting you're at least expecting change for one to be high and one to be low. That's a little bit uncharacteristic for these guys. On to hole 3, par 3, 426 feet. And again, it's just straight there in front of you, but the only real issue is that there's a little null off to the left. And for the right-hand backhand player, you're going to want to throw something like a fairway driver. I'm sure some of these guys are going to even maybe club down to a mid-range. So really throw something hard and just let it go straight. Because if you throw an overstable driver and you skip down that hill, it can get away from the basket pretty quick.
Absolutely. Even if you land to the right side of the basket, this is a really quick green on an old traditional green, traditional golf green.
James can't quite make out what he's throwing, but giving a little Anheuser, and this is what you like to see right here. Starting it off at the basket with a little bit of Anheuser, have it drift back to the pin and land flat. Pushes back edge of the fairway. He's 31 feet away from the pin.
You could see how fast that was once it landed. It didn't want to stop at all. Eagle?
No, that's Calvin. Nothing? No laughs?
Oh.
That's a fairway driver. Maybe an eagle. Calvin likes to utilize.
No, that's Eagle.
And this is an MD3, I believe.
And this is an MD Calvin right here.
Stop it.
Okay, I'm done.
Just a two-step, just
Go in.
come on, man. That's unrealistic. That is so good. Yeah, it doesn't look difficult because Eagle's doing it and he just has a 0% body effort, but that is a very far shot.
Yes.
And Kevin, surprisingly, going with the forehand flex. I love this.
Go in.
Wow. Wow, that was so effortless. Beautiful shot from Kevin. And I love that play because that's hyzering back up the hill. You just got to trust it to flip, and Kevin's been showing off that forehand technicality for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he's been putting a lot of work into that sidearm, and trust. That put in the work, trust comes with it.
That's right. Conrad. Yeah, he's good from 31. Good start for James. And I think, I'm not going to say spoiler alert because you guys are going to find out here eventually anyways, but before these guys even started their round, there were hot rounds already in the clubhouse. Nico Locastro in the morning shooting a 15 under, and these guys know what's out there already. I mean, that is way better than your traditional round on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So we know that the scoring conditions at this point are perfect. And look at that. We are looking at a star frame here on the third hole. I can't imagine there were too many of those on this one. Just the distance alone has proved to be pretty difficult. And there, just like that, another $25 to edge. Hole 4 is actually a par 4, 701 feet. Basically, the best play is either a big Anheuser with some kind of driver that's going to hold, because there is out of bounds left. But there's also the play of a roller, and you just want to avoid the bunker on the left. The bunker is casual, goes over this hill, and you want to avoid these low ceiling trees. Most players are going to be having to contend with those trees there for the approach, which is over a hill, and the base of the pin is actually blind from the landing zone. So it can kind of play tricks on the approach.
And it's on a high rise, so it kind of gives you a little weird depth perception.
Yeah, that's a tricky one to say. This is a great drive from James, a little bit lower than he'd like, I'm sure, but still out there and around the corner safe.
Calvin's going for the pin, I would assume. I really think somebody could get a nice look at this.
Yeah, I mean, this ground is nice and firm, and I think the best play to get up there would be a roller of some sort, maybe. Air shot would be just absolutely insane. And Calvin's doing his best to get up there, but...
Yeah, see, this is going to...
Yeah, up there in the bunker, that is a big drive. And you can see the basket just creep up in the left side of the screen. That'll be a really short shot. It's kind of difficult to go for a long putt for 2 from out there just because, like you said, the basket's elevated. There is actually also out of bounds long of the pin. There's a little cart path. It looks like Eagle might be lining up a roller. Oh my gosh. Well, when he's throwing far and it doesn't look like he's throwing much effort,
Oh no.
how fast does it come out when he is putting effort
Oh
on it?
no.
All right. Well, our catch cam is unable to show you how good that is because no one is in position up by the basket. But
701 feet this hole is.
I believe the word is that Eagle rolled so far that he rolled out of bounds long, and then the disc turned and came back in bounds. And Kevin's like, yeah, all right. I threw a 430-foot forehand. No one cares right now. You just saw a 700-foot
I'm just
roller.
angry right now.
I know. You should be angry. Everyone should be angry. If you're listening to this and you're not angry, go get angry at something. And look at this. James, after a good drive, is throwing a full approach. I mean,
Good touch, though.
very good touch.
I thought that was getting away a little bit, and it just kind of dug.
Yep. It's the advantage of the putter game. Kevin also going with a low ceiling putter. Just needs to avoid the last one, and it does, and it's even closer than James. God, new favorite person ever. New favorite person ever. That is just so ridiculous. That is parked. Calvin is. All right.
Where's Eagle?
Eagles, he is inbounds, putting back at the basket, folks. And I think this is about 45, 50 feet, maybe?
750 feet is all.
Oh, yeah, maybe more like 55, 60. Oh, my gosh.
I think so, Conrad.
I thought he made it.
I'm kind of glad. Well, I won't say I'm glad, but I'm relieved.
That's like this. That's like just a synonym for glad.
I'm very glad. That was incredible, man.
That was. No.
At least he proved to me that it was possible. I honestly, after playing the hole, I figured there was going to be looks for sure.
Yeah, and speaking of looks, we got to give a huge shout out to Ezra Adderhold, who did in fact make a 60-foot putt for the two. So not only did he boom one out there, I don't know how he got out there. I don't know if it was a roller. I would assume so. But he made the putt for two. So only eagle of the day, besides this eagle, who is always eagling. It's just
Constant.
It's just constant. But that is just an unfathomably long drive to think about putting back at a 701-foot hole. That's not downhill. Insane. Well, I believe that is all three players at three, or all four players at 3 under through 4. It's a 6 start. We are on to hole 5, one of the most difficult holes on the course. Says a par 4, 910 feet, but you have to throw at least 500 feet into a good landing zone to set yourself up for another 400 plus feet to this pin that's a dogleg right. No B to speak of. Really just about gripping and ripping and just maintaining some accuracy while doing so. Oh, actually, Calvin's actually 4 through 4. Excuse me.
Oh, my word almighty. I appreciate your business. Jeez.
Kevin with a little commentary. That's funny.
Yeah, if I was the Eagle, I would just throw the same shot on every hole out here. I would just throw a roller on every hole.
And one of the things that I'm sure we'll see, this property is just immaculate. Kale, like we mentioned earlier in the intro, has just done so much. The story is he was actually driving home from Waco as the last round was canceled, and he finally got the information that that's one way to get around the corner. Maybe a little bit tight. Might set him up for more of a forehand approach than the backhand he's looking for. But he got the call and found out that this property was going to be able to purchase. And so in 3.5 months, Kale's done all this work out here. And Kevin's going to be, I think he's going to be in a good landing zone there.
Yeah, anything past that tee pad in the middle of the fairway right there will give you a shot into the green and a pretty good angle.
And this is even a temporary course that this is not one of the courses that you would normally play if you came out to the preserve, I don't believe. So this course has been changed just to make things a little bit longer and a little bit more difficult for the touring pros that come out here.
Right, there's two permanent courses out here right now, and this is a combined version of both with some extended tees as well.
And speaking of the tee pad, James just skipped right over it, so that's pretty much exactly where you want to be. James up next. He's got the Wraith out. He's got the big run up and got the disc turning. Is it holding? Yeah. That would be inside circle too. That's a good rip from back there. Kevin is really flexing this forehand. Oh, no, he slipped and hit early tree. But, man, he was pushing almost 500 feet from back there. To be lining up the forehand is really showcasing how much trust he has behind that shot.
Basic hyzer.
Yeah, and that's a fairway driver. That's an eagle for Calvin.
Nice.
Scooted right up there to circle's edge. Wow.
It was kind of a bad break. You can just kind of stick into that hill, but he hit in a perfect spot that kind of jumped him up to the top, left him a little extra.
And eagle was a little bit cut off there, so he's going standstill forehand.
Yeah, he's got probably 280, 300.
You think it was that close?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that was a big roller then.
Well, if you watch the replay, he rolls right over that middle tee pad and just keeps going a good 200 feet. So
Okay, well, that is cutting off a sizable portion of this hole right there off the tee. James, 40 feet, and he is low. That'll be back-to-back pars. Kevin able to save the par after the slip on 2 and the approach that got up the hill. That was a good par save. Calvin in for the birdie. And this is the second hardest hole in the course, coming in at 3.95. Only one hole in the course for the day averaged over par. An eagle in for the super easy birdie. Only 20% of the field was able to pick up the birdie in the first round.
I'm pretty sure with Eagles back-to-back rollers, he probably could have thrown 1,400 feet right there.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Hole 6 is the first place where we really get to showcase the real ponds out here that really are signature aspects and features on this beautiful property. 414 feet. If you do not cross that cart path or if you go in the water, there is a drop zone off to the right. But for these players, this is going to be a pretty simple spike hyzer, I believe.
Yeah, try to throw a roller on this one, Eagle.
Calvin out wide. This is looking great. And that is well done. And from this angle, he's got a hole-in-one, folks. Calvin Heimburg has catch cam aced. And that's exactly what you want. That big tree out there on the right is a great... and actually, in fact, it doesn't go in, unfortunately.
He has his roller disc. Oh, no.
I do not know what he's throwing. Is that a mid? Is that what he was? That's what he. No.
No, but this thing is really stable. I know that.
And that's the tree we're talking about. That big one right there. And swinging in highs or late. Creeping up to circle's edge. You know, I'm almost surprised at the rate that he's been throwing the forehands. He's not throwing one here. And this flips up nice. I thought it might have been a little bit of an early release, but that is a great.
Oh my.
Wow. Oh, what a highlight that would have been.
That didn't miss by much right there. Oh,
Couldn't-
man.
Couldn't be much prettier aces to be had out there anywhere. I mean, this is just true signature hole. One of many out here on this course.
Absolutely. You watch on Facebook, it seems like everybody has videoed themselves throwing this hole.
Mm-hmm. And this is looking really nice as well. Pushing that high line, stalling, dropping right. Oh, and a good help in the tree on the green to stop him 25 feet from the pin. Eagle making good from 35.
Wow. What a great skill to have.
Mm-hmm. You can do that. I've seen you do that.
I know.
I was like, are you going to say anything? And Kevin Jones, after the remarkable ace run, a little bit of work left to do here. And he is in. And look at this card, folks. This is just a little bit of gray peeking in there, but this is just a birdie festival right now. And Conrad stops the par train at 2, gets right back on it with the birdie here on hole 6. And Calvin for another $25 check to charity. And Calvin has birdied everything right now. He is 6 down through 6. 49% of the field birdied that hole. 414 feet. I mean, 104 player count. That is getting it done right there. I don't care if it's calm or not. That's a long distance to carry for everyone to just be sticking birdies on the green. It's crazy.
People are getting good. People were good, but they're getting really good.
Really, really good, man. Hole 7 is a par 3, 294 feet up and over this hill. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got another fun feature on this course. We've got a hanging basket.
Thank you.
I do like how you can just let it fly, and then he sneaks a couple little gap holes in here. You know?
Uh-huh.
Got to keep it tight.
One of the trickier holes on the green, on the entire course for sure, and Calvin has thrown his first errant shot a little bit too tight and kicking left. It actually could be kind of difficult to get up and down. One of the hardest things to do on this hole is just to slow the disc down enough. Once you get over that hill, managing to put the brakes on the disc is not an easy thing to do.
Did he miss the Mando? There's a Mando there. He must have been close.
It was close, but I don't think he did.
Okay.
Eagle low, trying to maybe just get a little skip off the hill and slide down, and that's one of the best ways you can put brakes on this hole, using the ground to your advantage. That is sick. That is just flawless execution. And I like this play from Kevin. A little forehand, trying to just keep it low. Maybe a little bit too low. No. It does get over the hill. That'll be a scary putt, though, from about circle's edge. But with that spin and the way that this hill is designed, the forehand, once it gets over that hill, can kind of bank off some things and slow the disc down. quite sure what James is throwing here. Looks really overstable. And that's
I think
pushing.
it's a Firebird.
Okay. And that's pushing the back edge of the fairway. He's going to have a pretty safe run from 28 feet for the birdie.
Calvin is going to have to get creative with this. I mean, there's definitely no look to go through the woods. He's going to have to go up and over and crash in there.
Not what you want to do. This is a pretty thick tree line on the outside edge of this hole, as you can see. Having to get creative. That's a great shot. He's going to have a long look. Outside the circle, still away. This would be such a big putt to hit. Continue that momentum after the 6-for-6 start. And catching a tree limb and falling short. Kevin with a great run. Heavy chins on the right side. Falls out. Just a bit too far right. Conrad getting his hair stuck in the tree right behind him. That is a problem I can relate to, my friend. Not my hair, but my body.
No, you actually.
Oh,
Beautiful.
wow. That was never above the rim until the second it skipped up and went into the chains. And good birdie from James. And Kevin off left. Eagle with just one of the best drives I can even imagine throwing, using that hillside to perfection to skip up and slow the disc down. Calvin's in for his bogey. And
Couple
Kevin will have
bogeys, yeah.
Yeah, just first red. I wasn't sure we were going to see any bogeys today on this card, but if there's any hole to do it, it would be this one. This is the third hardest hole on the course. One of the least birdied holes out there. Still 20-something% of the field managed to birdie it, but we are on to the monster here, folks. 1,110 feet. Feel like it plays like 1,100 and 1,200. 11, 12, 1,300, 1,400 feet, something like that. Par 5, and it's just a big crush. You have one tree off the tee that you have to decide if you're going to go the inside flip up or the big high outside Anheuser drive. Eagle is going to go roller, most likely.
He's going to try to throw it 760 feet again.
Yeah, this is an eagleable hole. I would imagine. I mean,
for Eagle.
For Eagle. I'm going to say for Eagle, not for the field. I thought this was going to be something that could be eagled, and then I played it, and then I realized this is too big.
Oh, not the best angle.
Yeah.
He didn't land it as good as he could have.
Right, and that landed pretty much vertically, but being off to the right side will allow him to lay down another roller if he chooses to do so.
Yeah, I gave up on thinking that holes weren't eagleable after Calvin had that eagle in, what was it, the World Championships at Fox Run.
Oh, yeah. That I was playing with him that round, those first round, and he was 15 feet away on that 1,200-foot hole, hole 7 at Fox Run. I will never forget that. That was breathtaking.
Yeah, it kind of opened my mind to like, okay, so these guys can just kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah. James going big wraith turnover, and that's in the fairway. That's a beautiful drive. It is so exciting watching the pro field these days. I mean, it is a very competitive field. We don't just have, I mean, when Paul Macbeth is playing well, it's hard to catch him, but man, we have 30 guys who can legitimately throw 600 feet and can win any tournament. It's just it's exciting to watch these guys rip. Calvin going for the hyzer play, just playing it safe off the tee.
Roller.
Kevin going roller. Not something I think I've seen him try too much, but this is looking pretty good.
Looks perfect.
Yeah. His body English was a little funky off the release. I wasn't sure if he liked it or not, but that's right down the fairway, at least 500 feet down. And Calvin has gone another hyzer. I thought he might be trying to go Anheuser, but really just playing position golf. Very smart. Put him in a spot where he can probably be less than 200 feet to the pin from there, maybe. Actually, no. I think he's got to be 300.
350, I bet.
Yeah, he's still pretty. He's got to be pretty short. It is just. I don't know if I buy 1,100 feet. I feel like it's got to be further than that. And James, what a rip! Full throw. And actually a little fortunate there to kick off the back end of that bush tree to be out in the open for his third shot to the pin.
No.
Yeah.
Throw the roller.
Well, this is just going to go about as far.
No. I wanted to see the good stuff.
Well, my friend, that is the good stuff. That is so nasty. Oh.
That's so good.
It is so good to flip that. I mean, that's a stable disc for anyone else. He's flipping that thing up at such a high speed, and he's just riding out 450 feet with ease. And same for Kevin. He's doing really good things with that forehand. No, it'll either be okay. James is actually away.
He's going to be pinched off to the right here, and he's going to have to throw a very difficult turnover. It's going to have to stall and push to the right side and kind of get lucky in between these trees right here.
Yep, a low ceiling approach.
He did all those things.
Yeah, the only thing that could have been better is if it maybe had a little bit more stable bite at the end, could have flattened out and not rolled back to him, but you'll still be putting from inside the circle, I believe. Calvin just striping the gap, parked for the birdie. That is impressive golf right there. 2 hyzers and then 1 gap shot, tapping.
They all have putters in.
Yeah, that's true. Kevin playing lawn darts. Eagle still waiting for UC to come out with a slow enough disc for him to throw. That will never happen. Sometimes you want a slow disc that you can throw hard, obviously, and control with the speed, but Eagle makes every disc look fast. So maybe James came up a bit shorter. It looks like he's lining up a... Yeah, circle's edge. And off the band. He's been putting on every hole. He's been right there. Just missed a couple of putts. Eagle, however, he has moved to 7 down through 8 and just playing.
It was almost a star frame that just like looked so easy for this card, like all of them.
Yeah, and this is the only hole in the course that averaged above par at 5.13, so not super difficult, but only a quarter of the field was able to birdie it, so. But it's some big numbers taken on as well. We are on to hole 9, par 3, 380 feet. Trick here is I measured this one with the new Bushnell rangefinder at 425 because I wasn't buying it, and it's uphill too. So this thing plays more like 450. On top of that, you got this mound here, the sand trap right behind the pin. It's a very difficult pin to park.
Kale was trying to trick us with that number.
No, he didn't trick me, man.
Nope.
I bogeyed it so hard, but he didn't trick me with the distance. Eagle not liking it a little bit too early.
This is going to be fun, though, because
Yeah.
that's right at the spot where you cannot lay that up. And if
No.
you do trickle off the chains or miss low, it's a really fast green.
And there is out of bounds within 35 feet or so behind the pin down the hill. So an air ball would most likely go out of bounds, which would never happen in a calm day from Eagle. But stranger things have happened.
All right, grab it.
Calvin going stable fairway, and that's pushing back edge left. It's the common miss. Kevin's got this one a little bit wider, a little bit more stable in the finish, but a similar result as it rolls over Eagle's disc. They'll both have a very tricky putt coming up.
Yeah, I am not jealous with where they
Yeah.
left their drives.
I am. I threw mine out of bounds. I'm very jealous of where they left their drives.
I'm not.
And James has a nice line here, and he is right there in that same spot. That is the miss to make. Don't want to push this one too long and go over the hill. Calvin just quickly deciding to lay that one up. Probably wish he had another 5 to 10 feet on that layup. And look at that.
No way.
Eagle 7 down through 8 says, I'm not going to play your mind games, Paul.
No, don't do it. Don't do it, Kev.
Yeah, that's a tricky
You
thing
can-
to do. You know,
he
one of the
is
best
the-
putters in the game just lays the same putt that you have up.
There's no way he lays this up. Kevin is a jump putter.
Yeah, he is too aggressive. Once he went to that straddle, you know he's going for it. And that is the scary miss, and it does manage to go a B, and hate to see that.
You know that James is not laying this up either.
No, he's a very aggressive putter. And that is a great jump putt. Just eyeing just the scariest putt. One of the best putters in the game. Eagle McMahon lays it up. Kevin Jones, another great jump putter, putts it OB. And you essentially have the same exact putt, and to follow that one up right in the middle. That was awesome. Oh, no. Kevin. 5 birdies on the front 9, a bogey, and now a double bogey. That's going to take him to 2 down on the front, and that's falling so far behind these leaders as we see these scores just really are going low.
So hard to lay it up. So you have to have so much discipline in your game.
Yeah. It's a lot of confidence in all the other facets of the game. So there we go. Front 9 and Anthony Barella. This was a new Disc Golf Pro Tour record going back to Goat Hill. Birdied the final 10 holes at Goat Hill and birdied the first 8 out here. So he had 18 consecutive birdies. So it's a pretty cool stat for him. But you can see Nico Castro 7 down. I already kind of alluded to what he ends up shooting in the front 9. But there's some great scores. Make sure you come back for the exciting back 9 at the beautiful Preserve Championship here in Clearwater, Minnesota.
Can't wait.